After your performance at the road course, Brad Keselowski tweeted that you were the best in Cup road course racing of all the drivers, and he included on the X post hashtag the factory. What'd you think about the factory, and what does it mean to you that Brad gives you that kind of compliment?
Yeah, it's Brad came up with the factory a few years ago. He said you keep plugging away and you just keep turning out results. I was like, well, it's um that's great if they're wins. If it's just a constant win, then I'd say maybe it holds a little bit more merit. But obviously uh coming from Brad and a champion of our sport, and uh, our team owner here, it's a massive compliment. I certainly feel like I have way too much to learn to be able to take that as the truth right now. Always trying to figure out how to be better at these, and to learn from people that I believe to be better than me at them. So you know what? There's a lot that goes into it, but ultimately at RFK we have very good road racing cars. We have uh, very good people that are making sure that we show up to the racetrack and our cars are ready to go, that we're not having mechanical errors, that we're making good decisions and calls during races, that we're staying out of some of these massive pileups that we're seeing at some of these road courses, right? Um, you think about it, one loose nut somewhere along the way, and or an oil line left loose or something like that, and one bad race, and all of a sudden all these stats and these averages that look so solid, those disappear. So it's not simply me, right? It's there's a whole lot into this. So to lean on to Brad here, Brad also had a saying that I haven't heard a whole lot lately. But this was a big thing when he came over, and I started going with him to some of these fast all conventions and talking in front of large crowds of people. And he said, you know what, as drivers, we probably get 80 or 90% of the credit for doing about 30% of the work. And maybe that was even high. He might have said 20. And I was like, man, it's a great point, right? This is not just driver versus driver. This is team versus team and organization versus organization. There's so much more that goes into it, and those ingrained within our sport, right? This is nothing new to anybody in this setting right here, but to some of our more casual fans, to understand how much goes into this thing and how many people touch our results at the end of the day, it starts to sink in, makes you realize this isn't just me going to a road course and simply having a good understanding and enjoying it and running well at them. It's our team making great decisions, and all the way through the several hundred employees that we have to make sure that we have these kind of results and these kind of stats to look back on. So it is more fun because we do get to talk about that Watkins Glen win. We finally got that road course win last year, so that's that was kind of the icing there. We finally got to it, but you know what? It's something that I surely appreciate, but I have a lot to learn yet, and a lot to figure out.
As we head into the mini West Coast swing, and I've covered your team through ups and downs and a lot of changes over the years. Brad, when he first came, I wondered if he was going to be patient enough because he wanted it right away, right? Where do you think you are on the patient side of it, seeing where you need to be, seeing the changes you've had, and entering this year as you head to the West Coast swing?
Yeah, I think I've been awfully impressed by Brad's um, tenacity and his attitude towards this thing, and how do you approach it methodically. That it's not always a blow up that's needed. And RFK has taken a huge turn, and that's due to many factors, but Brad's been a huge part of that culture shift, and this this change has gotten people excited to be a part of our group and to be back winning races. And I tell you, to simply just to see Jack in victory lane at the Glen last year, a track that he's been so dominant at many years ago, to see him smiling and cutting up like that, that's incredibly rewarding, knowing how the last decade plus has gone, right? And you're right. I'm no stranger to this thing either, right? I signed up with Roush when I was 15 years old, and I've watched it. I think I that ink may have dried when they started to hit their wall, and to be on the upswing of it all is a whole lot more fun. I think the third car was a big goal of Jack, of Brad, I believe, of the Fenway side as well. I think everybody wanted to see this thing grow back, but the patience required to make sure that we were competitive with two cars before we put that extra workload on an organization that needed to be taking that energy and using it to be better, not just good enough. I think that was a strategic play that we've seen play out very, very well for us, and I think we'll continue to see that. You know, kind of show the fruits of that as we go through this season. I think we have a lot of good stuff coming. It's going to be a really great year for all of us.